got a cool car, a girl I just met.
Hi, I'm Bob from Like Strangers.
I'm Clint from Like Strangers.
I'm Scott from Scott Moffatt. And we were actually formerly known as the Moffats. 3/4, or actually 3/4.
Yeah,
three quarters. 3/4 of the Moffats.
And we failed it now. And we're here with She's Gone Country.
Yeah, Sarah Bradley from She's Gone Country. This is a brand new thing that's taken the internet waves by storm.
Are we your first interview?
Yeah, for this website you are our first interview actually.
We're on it. We're great.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this for me.
No problem.
I mean, you guys started off when you were really little.
It's the caterpillar crawl. It got fat ones, skinny ones, short ones, and tall. They all come to do the caterpillar crawl. Jack made the oceans and ripped the waves of his hand. He made the mountains, the deserts, and the plains. I think she likes me, and I know I like her. It's kind of frightening, 'cause it's too soon to be sure. I think she likes me, maybe even might be love.
You did country back then you went into the pop rock thing.
I'll be there.
You are the girl of my dreams. In my heart, I believe. Misery is what I feel when you're not around, so I can't heal. Misery is what I feel. Is what I feel. It's just another phase that I'll go through. This time I'm sure I'll lose you. Place my bedside on the Jackson Queen.
And then you kind of went your own separate ways and a little heavier stuff for a bit. And now everything's kind of come full circle. You're doing country again.
Hearts and broken fights. Sure I could do it, but why waste time? And that ain't my style. I want to live and love a lot. Pretty much make the best of what I got. Some people get so damn cold, but I ain't going down that road, 'cause that ain't my style. Sweet, sad Sally, won't you please come and play? Roll back that black veil and I'll wipe the tears away. I know that you've been broken, you don't trust in love no more, but I'll plant a smile back on your face and you open up the door. I know that you want to see me peeking through the shade. Sweet, sad Sally, won't you please come out and play?
What is it about the genre that has kind of drawn you guys through? Why do you think you've come back to do it?
I think the writing, especially the writing, the writers in Nashville are the best in the world, as far as I'm concerned. So that was our goal after leaving Thailand. This is for Clint and I, you know. After leaving Thailand, we wanted to just work on our songwriting, become better writers. And our mom was here as well, so that was a big thing for us. But it's really helped with our writing.
Yeah. I've always loved country music. I think Keith Urban really, for me, when I listened to that Golden Road record, you know, he was doing things that I thought, man, I'd like to be in the genre that's happening, you know, because I just love the songs. And it wasn't. I'm a big fan of traditional country music too, but you know, he was bringing all kinds of stuff that I was kind of into, and so that was a huge factor for sure.
And me, well, I was just kind of bored of, I was in Thailand for a while, and that wasn't working out so well, so, you know, I just decided, hey, might as well go to Nashville. You know, I'm gonna keep making music. There's no question about that. And Calgary wasn't the right place for me, so Nashville is. And yeah, it's a great place for songwriters, great place for music in general, and it's really turning into kind of a burgeoning scene for all kinds of music, in my opinion. You see lots of really cool stuff, so for me, it's a really great place also.
What have you kind of been able to do about developing your songwriting working in Nashville? How have you kind of collaborated with artists, and how have you found this different?
Well, I think that if you can sit in and write with a few people here in Nashville, you know, they're writing with John Wiggins, and you know, if you can get around something like that, you can learn so much, you know, because they're so trained, so well educated in songwriting, and because it's a difficult thing to do, to master songwriting, and that's one of the beautiful things about Nashville, is that these people actually take it very seriously. There's a lot of emotion in it, but there's a lot of education that goes into it also.
Is there a process in songwriting?
It's always different. It's always different. I mean, you know, sometimes you go in there with no idea and just talk for a little while with the person you're writing with. And co-writing is an entirely different thing than writing by yourself too, because you have somebody else that you can bad ideas off of. If you're not coming up with something, that other person might kickstart an idea, you know. But you know, sometimes just sitting at home or if you're driving around, and I'm melody in my pocket, you can kind of phone and record it, take it in. Or I also just love going in with nothing, you know, just seeing what happens. A lot of times, the conversation, talking about life, talking about relationships, just anything will spur an idea.
And you guys are actually working as songwriters a lot of the time too. You do that specifically for other artists. How does that sort of differ than writing for yourself?
I really like that, because it just kind of opens up things a little bit. You know, sometimes when you're writing for yourself, you kind of have a specific thing you're going after that's cohesive with your sound. And then when you're writing for other people, you can write, you know, kind of whatever. You know, whatever. You're not as precious to it. You know, you wouldn't say, you're never thinking, I wouldn't sing that. You know, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. You're going like, well, this is the best thing for this song.
And sometimes you actually end up with something that you like, maybe even more than what you write for yourself, because you step out of your box and you realize, wow, this is it. I don't do this very often, so it makes it really interesting to try things you normally wouldn't do.
I mean, okay, I'm guessing if I was a songwriter, then I'd probably have a hard time cutting with some of my work. I'd be writing something, and then I'd be like, no, I want to say that for myself. Do you ever have that where you're kind of like?
I think it used to be when I first came to Nashville, it was, you know, obviously the artist thing was definitely more on our minds. But now I'm not precious to anything, because, you know, if somebody that's actually doing something wants to cut a song that I'm a part of,
And that's having success.
I'm not going to be opposed to it, you know. And you know, I really enjoy that. It's being an artist takes a lot of. There's so much more to it than just going on stage and singing and being creative. You know, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of time. Other stuff that's even more exhausting, and you really have to commit yourself to that. And it takes a lot of mental strength. Right now, I'm really into the idea of having going to the mailbox and collecting having to go out on the road and play for 5 people and building that up. Maybe one day.
The future for you guys. I know right now you may be focusing more on the songwriting, but do you think that the artist thing is going to be something that you're looking into that you should sort of develop more?
You're good.
Well, I think that the artist thing I always want to keep in my mind, you know, because it's an outlet for me. But I don't, you know, I'm not looking at it that way necessarily. I want to do the artist thing. I'm going to do that. I don't want to be famous. I mean, fame is not something that I'm searching for. But I want to make records and play live, you know. But at the same time, I really enjoy getting into a room and writing a country song. You know, that's something I thoroughly enjoy doing. So I think that in order for me to keep that, and I like producing records, I like doing lots of other things. I don't think that me focusing 100% on the artist thing is what I'm going to do, but it's going to be something I do, no matter what, right? It's going to be fun. It's just fun. Making music is fun. And keeping it, carrying it out.
And that connection with the audience, you know, it's like
Exactly.
sometimes you think about all the stuff you have to do, but then when you actually get in front of people, is to sing songs. That feeling, is better than any other feeling.
Yeah.
Well,
Getting on
instant
stage.
gratification,
There's
right
nothing
away.
like getting on stage.
Of connecting with your fans. I notice you especially do a lot of social media. And you're out there, doing things with your fans, and I notice that you do a lot of like Skype.
Snippets.
A lot of snippets. There are a
Yeah.
lot of snippets. If you follow Scott Moffatt's music page, you will see snippets of a lot of his music.
Yes.
And very witty puns on the one snippet
That's
as well.
right.
But I noticed that you're doing Skype things now. Where
Yep.
You're sort of developing like Skype guitar lessons with fans and a Skype songwriting session. I know you guys did as well.
Well, yeah, on my website, Scott Moffatt Productions, I have, I'm doing a lot of things, the songwriting, guitar teaching I do. I also do mixing and production for demos. And then I also sell my own music on my website. It's going to develop in the future, but yeah, I did that songwriting thing when I did the staging show. I wrote with 3 fans, the highest tippers. I wrote a song with them, and I actually really liked the song. It turned out really cool, and that was fun for everybody involved. I'm going to be doing that again. I got another staging show on June 22nd. You guys are
Good pitch, Ricky Gervais.
So this is something that I want to keep doing, and it gets the fans involved. It's 3 or 4 hours out of my day, and it's a great way to give back. If they're paying attention, they might learn, And there's one girl that I wrote with actually that she brought like 50% of the lyrics. She's kind of like a poet in the Philippines and stuff, and she was doing some cool stuff. And that was a great experience to see her, trying to take those lyrics and put them into, a pop song. It was a lot of fun.